Probably because a lot of people shouldn't have animals. They're not used to animals and don't know how to care for them. Some of them is because of the hard times of money and not being able to afford to take care of them. They just abandon them instead of giving them up to a shelter. It's about care. It's about, your humane care for your animal, to be able to understand the passion and love for an animal. And where a lot of people feel like an animal is just something you put in the street or in the backyard, that need to be, a family member should be living in the house.
Well, I think it comes down to information, education. Animals is like humans. They have diseases. They need vaccinations, which a lot of people don't even know about or are concerned about. Continuation for a lot of deworming, a lot of the things that humans are in fact associated with. And I think education is the main culprit that we need to deal with in terms of educating the public about it.
The negative thing is people not handling their animals. There is a leash law in the city. You are supposed to have your dog on a leash. And if your dog is not a nice dog and it's a vicious dog, it's dangerous to people. We just had a case of a child being killed by some pit bulls, which is just drastic. It shouldn't be happening. And it's not necessarily the dog. It's the owner. The owners are not taking care of their animals. They're not watching their animals. They're not securing their animals. They should be on the leash at all times. When they're in the front, when they're fenced in a yard, that's the way they should be. It should never be out, and that's probably why we're seeing that.
It's a nuisance, which doesn't have to be. People need to control the animals, and animals get out there, they are hungry, they seek for food, which is nature. They have to get food. And I see this all the time, and I'm tired of it, so I do the best that I can. It has to be done with funds for that, opposed to the cars and getting hit and getting pregnant, that type of thing.
I noticed that during the holidays, people will abandon their own animals, especially their seniors. A lot of people don't want to have a senior animal around the house because they have guests and they're having accidents because they're old. And it goes back to also people just decide, well, I just don't have the money to take care of an animal. They don't realize when you adopt an animal or when you buy an animal, there's a big responsibility that you're going to have this animal for 10 or 15 years. And some people just don't want to have an animal for that long. They'll call a rescue or they'll drop them off at a shelter. But it's sometimes a financial thing. Sometimes it's just, they just don't want to care for them.
They don't know about animals and so forth, but oftentimes it's about the finances. We've gone through the effects of the auto and the industry bust and so forth. People couldn't take care of themselves, let alone the animals. Well, there's a certain way that you have to handle that. They'll, just like us, they have souls and whatnot. So turning them to rescues, we have rescues that's for that, humane societies, that would take them in and take care of them. But there's a way to do anything.
We can turn it around. It's just more people caring, stepping up, having more groups and organizations coming forward to help, which we do. We are getting a lot more people involved. More people are doing stuff nationally to produce actions toward rescuing animals instead of just buying them at a pet store. There are so many animals out in the street or just owner surrenders. People can adopt that are wonderful animals. It's being done. It's a slow process, but it is being done. There are a lot of people stepping up and helping out, and that's basically how we're going to be able to accommodate everybody and all the abandoned animals and rescue animals. That's how we're going to be able to save them.
Oh, absolutely. We have to address that. This little baby here, she's not abandoned, but she's well loved. People being aware of things that they can report those instances, agencies such as the Humane Society. Everybody must get involved. They are just like us. They have souls, they have minds, and we love them.